Okay. Alrighty. Get my comfy pillow. Oh, you're gonna join me? Of course. Lily's always in the mood to join. Hi guys and welcome. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're planning for a good Thanksgiving. Hope it all goes well for you. If not, well then I hope things are better after Thanksgiving. But anyway guys, welcome to talking about being over 60, well actually any age, and not dating, but over 60 in particular. I don't know about you guys that are 60 and over. I'm 68, and I have not dated since, let's see, I was living downtown, so I'll say around 2012, around there, maybe 11 or 12. Haven't dated since then, guys. And I have been divorced since 2003. Now, I went through the whole online dating thing, as I'm sure some of you have, or maybe many of you have, and that was that was a nightmare. It was a joke. But I also made the mistake, guys, how dumb can a person get? I dated my attorney, my divorce attorney, in 2003. Yes, 2 weeks after my divorce, he asked me out. And I was, okay, why not? Oh, little did I know. He turned out to be a person that all he wanted to do was drink and drink and drink and drink and drink. That's it. Drink, go to a bar and drink. Go to a restaurant and drink. Go to his house and drink. Just drink, 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 drink. And I don't know why I continued dating him. I dated him from, I'm just telling you real quick about this particular instance. I dated him from pretty much right before one Christmas to the next Christmas, okay, for about a year. Well, in that time, at first I thought, you know, in the beginning, I thought he was the most wonderful thing ever. And I really did. He was just like, I was like, oh my God, this guy's wonderful, blah, blah, blah. But then, of course, as you get to know somebody, you start seeing them for who they really are. And guys, I got to tell you, the first thing he did that really upset me, aside from the fact that he liked to drink, which I don't know why I continued. No, baby. But it was Valentine's. And I was so excited, you know, he invited me out for Valentine's. And previous to that, he had asked me what my favorite stone was, because my birthstone is a diamond. I was born in April. But my favorite stone is a garnet. So he was asking me what my favorite stone was. I said it was a garnet. And he knew my birthstone was diamonds. So that was that. He had asked me. Well, on Valentine's we went out. He presented me with this beautiful, I'm not a real fan of yellow gold, but it was pretty anyway. It was a yellow gold necklace with a V shape at the bottom. And the bottom part of the V was all garnets, and then the top part of the V was diamonds. It was really a pretty necklace. And so I was so excited. I thought, oh my gosh, you know. And he was a very wealthy attorney too, not just your whatever. He was a very wealthy attorney. And so I was all excited to get this necklace, right? Well, he presented it to me, and I'm just, oh my God, thank you, you know, this is so beautiful. And then he ruins it. He says, well, it was really hard finding a necklace with both the garnets and the diamonds together in a nice design or whatever. He goes, but then my secretary looked high and low and found one, and she went and, Lily, stop, and she went and picked it out. And so I was like, your secretary picked out my necklace? And he was like, oh yeah, she looked high and low for one and found one. And I looked at him, I said, so you didn't pick this out for me? And he says, no, you know, no, I didn't have the time to be searching all over for diamonds and garnets together. Well guys, that ruined that for me. It was like, every time I looked at that necklace, I didn't think of him, I thought of his secretary finding it. So that kind of ruined that. Well, anyway, we continued dating, and then by the next Christmas, after dating a year, I felt kind of bad for him because he was living with his teenage son alone. It was him and his son. And I had noticed that their freezer was just filled with frozen food, and when I asked him, he's like, no, I don't cook, and his son didn't cook. And so for Christmas, I thought, I'm going to do something special. I made a full-blown Christmas meal for him and his son. And as I made each, dish, my kids would take it to his house. He didn't live too far away. So they take it to his house, so it'd be there warm and fresh and everything. I made everything, guys. I made a full-blown Christmas meal for him and his son. And I kind of, after the first Christmas, let's go back a little bit. After the first Christmas, I was a little hurt because didn't even get a card or anything for me or my kids, just a card. And I wasn't expecting gifts because we had just started dating. Although something would have been nice, but it didn't work out that way. So by the second Christmas, I thought, yeah, So I went shopping for him, and then I decided to make that full meal for him and his son. I was so excited to do that. And so anyway, my kids took all that food to their house, and they had a real Christmas meal. Well, he comes over on Christmas Eve, it was, now that I remember, it was Christmas Eve, with a friend of his, and stayed, 15 minutes, and had a blue bag, about that big, and it was the color of a Tiffany bag, right? Not that I was expecting something outrageously expensive or anything, but I didn't open it because I don't like to open my gifts till the day. So the next day, then they left, and then the next day on Christmas Day, my kids and I was so excited to open it, and I thought, oh my God, what did he get me, I mean, we've been dating a year. What did he get me? And my neighbors too, they were like, oh my gosh, a couple of my neighbors were like, oh, I can't wait to see what he got you. Because they're used to seeing this guy drive me to my apartment, pulling up in his Porsche, his Jag, that whole bit. And so I get that bag, and I'm all excited to open it. And let me say something real quick before I tell you what it was. I was excited because at the time, my daughter was dating somebody who got her a whole bunch of really cool stuff. I mean, a bunch of stuff. Big old box full of stuff. And I thought, wow, here's this I think he was 21 or whatever at the time, 20, I don't know, he was young. And I thought, wow, I mean, it was incredible stuff. So I opened my blue bag, and guys, guess what was in it? I'm not lying. A calendar, regular flip over calendar, and a trivia game. Yep, a calendar and a trivia game. I was stunned. I thought, this can't be right. I mean, I was like, in my head I was thinking, did they accidentally switch gifts or grab the wrong bag or something? I could not believe that I got a trivia game. I was 49, guys, at the time. A trivia game and a calendar. I can't even tell you how insulted I felt. I was embarrassed. My kids couldn't believe it. The neighbors that wanted to know what I got, they were kind of shocked. And I remember the one next door, she was like, that can't be right, Laura. No. And I was like, yeah, that's what he gave me. Everybody was stunned. And I don't know if my daughter remembers it, but I remember she came to me at night and she said, if you have anything else to do with this guy, I'm not going to talk to you again. And I was like, yeah, okay. So I broke up with him a couple of days later, before the new year. And it was so insulting. And also, the fact that all he wanted to do was drink. We'd go everywhere we went. It was just drink. Let's drink. Let's drink. Go to his house. Drink, drink, drink. And that got old. Got to the point where when I would see his name on the caller ID on the phone, I'd be like, oh, it's him. Yeah, not a good thing. Then I decided to get on online dating. Okay, so he was done. Never date your divorce attorney. But that was done. So then I decided to try the online. Well, I met one guy who he turned out to be definitely not the one. Uh, when I think back to it, I'm like, what? Why was I dating this guy? I dated him for about a year. And he just didn't turn out to be the greatest guy. Luckily, he broke up with me, which I'm really grateful for. And then afterwards, his daughter ran into my son while they were driving around and cruising back then. When is your mom coming back to my dad? My dad misses her. When is your mom? I'm like, he told her, because this was, the guy I was dating, this was his daughter who used to, she knew my kids, but they didn't hang out. Okay, let's put it that way. So when she ran into one of my sons, she told him, oh my gosh, you know, my dad misses your mom. When did you get back together? Blah, blah, blah. My son told her, my mom's done with your dad. Blah, blah, blah. So that was it. And so I kind of, you know, I was like, God, these guys online they're terrible. They were really, really terrible. So I didn't date again. That was back in 2006 at that particular date ended. I didn't date again until 2000, I think it was 2008. I tried a couple, actually 3 guys from online, 1 date each. I was done. It was like, oh my God, these guys are crazy. And I got tired of it. Just got so tired of it. So then again I waited, let's see, it was from 2008 till about 2012, tried it again. Well, that one, I couldn't even believe what happened. I saw a guy online. He seemed like a really great guy. We talked on the phone. We decided to meet somewhere. So I get all ready for the day. It was just coffee, you know, a coffee type of thing, coffee place. And I get into the parking lot, and I'm like, where is he? Because he told me what his car looked like and everything. I couldn't see his car anywhere. So I called him. I was like, I'm in the parking lot, and I don't see your car anywhere. And he goes, where are you? And I told him where I was, and he says, oh shit. And I said, what? And he goes, oh, I'm at, and then he named another restaurant, another coffee place rather. And I said, we didn't agree to meet there. And he actually goes, I'm so sorry, that was another one that I was supposed to meet. Right? I was like, oh my God. So I said, okay. And he goes, I'll be right there. Well, I hung up and took off. I left. I was not about to. That was such an insult. It was like, you're confusing me with how many other women. That's how interested. So I took off. So when he got there, I was nowhere to be found. And he called once, and I didn't even answer. So I thought, okay, I am so sick of all of this. It just got to the point where I was realizing that the guys they just were a mess. They had a lot of baggage. They were just a mess in so many ways. And at the time when I was trying it back in 2012 or so, there was another one that I met online. I thought, oh, he's good looking, he seems nice, his profile is nice. We called to talk. And the conversation was going really well. I thought, oh, he's really nice, this is a great guy. Then he goes, so what did you want to do for your first date? And I said, well, I don't know, I'd have to think about that. And he goes, well, I have a plan. I said, what's that? And he goes, I was thinking we could go to the mountains at midnight. I have a canoe, and we could go to a lake, and it would just be us up in the mountains on some lake. And of course, every red flag went up. My head was like, oh my God, he's going to kill me. He's going to drown me. Nobody will find me in the mountains. You know, I was like, what an insane thing to suggest for a first date. And so I told him, I said, I don't think so. That's not really what I'd want to do for a first date. And then it was bam. He was just like, oh, what, you don't trust me? You don't is that what you're saying, you don't trust me? Which to me was like a guilty mind or something, wanting to say that instead of asking me, well, what would you like to do? Instead, he instantly went into, oh, so you don't trust me? And I said, I don't know you to be able to trust or not trust you. And he goes, well, there's nothing wrong with going to a lake. And I said, I don't know you. I'm not going up into the mountains onto a lake with somebody I don't know at midnight. And so he continued to get angry, and I just hung up on him. I was like, oh, I'm not even wasting a breath on him. So I just hung up. So after that one, guys, I was done. So I have not dated since about 2012. Especially at my age, I just, I don't know how to do, I would not know how to meet the right guy and be comfortable because of the way today's world is. Are you? Tell me. If you tell me about your bad dating experiences, you know, especially when you see what's on the news and everything of what these men do. I read just a couple days ago. I read a couple articles. One, the girlfriend was found, I think it was stuffed in a closet or a freezer or something by her boyfriend, dead. Another one, same thing. The guy had killed this woman he met online. And then there was actually one where a girl had killed her boyfriend, or the guy that she met online, and robbed him. So yeah, there's a lot of things that scare me to death about being out there with men. And plus, I don't have the patience to put up with men's their garbage, baggage, same thing, with their baggage, because it's to the point now where at my age I would not only have to be dealing with a new man, but if he had children, his adult children's spouse or boyfriend, partner, whatever, girlfriend, you have to deal with all of that. And I would not have the patience to put up with not being accepted. How many of you have gone through that? Maybe you started dating, you're over 60 and it's not easy to find, the right person to date. Maybe you did, and maybe the family that he had before, the kids, the whoever, they don't accept you, whatever. Right now, guys, I would love to meet the right guy. I would. I'm not gonna lie. I'd love to meet the right guy and have a wonderful relationship. But all the experiences I went through with online dating, I'll never ever do that again. And just so you know, for those that you do, when they're done with you dating you, they go home and they get right back on to see who else is there. I'm sure you know that. It's like a waiting list. Okay, I went out with this one tonight. Let's see if there's somebody better. That's what they do. So that online dating has taken away the personal part of, oh, I met, like it used to be, I met somebody at a party, or I met somebody through a friend. And you're interested in that person, he's interested in you and wants to get to know you and date you and really get to know you. Now, that's not the case with the online stuff. They're constantly scrolling through to see what might be better. So I'm never, ever going to do online dating again. But guys, when you're over 60 and dating, there are times that I would love to find a wonderful guy and not be living alone. And then there are times when I think, do I want to put up with what that could be? Dealing with the adult children, their grandchildren, their side of the family, maybe even if the parents are still alive. What do I want to deal with that? That was another thing that happened with the second guy that I dated for a year. He took me to his house and his parents were in town. And so I was kind of excited to meet his parents. I walk in there, his mother, this is the truth, his mother literally did this. She looks at me up and down, right? She's standing there, we're all standing in the kitchen. She looks at me up and down and she goes, well, you certainly weren't what I expected. Not that that's bad, it's just not what I expected. I don't know what the hell that meant. But I know I felt insulted immediately, and I thought, that's a hell of a way to greet your son's girlfriend. It was so uncomfortable. I felt terrible. I didn't even want to be there. And I remember thinking, I just want to get out of here. That's all I wanted to do, was just get out of there. And then you also have to remember, too, that if you're not accepted by that new that family from this new guy, it's not going to work, because like it or not, you do marry family, and either you separate completely from that family or you learn to deal with it, because some, you know, in-laws, if that's what they're going to be, they can be pretty awful. They can be pretty terrible. I don't want to go through that. So how many of you have had the experience of dating and you do what I do? You think, do I want to go through this, or do I just want to be alone and maybe just date in terms of, hey, somebody you know, hey, you want to go to dinner? You go out to dinner and it's not a date, it's just a get together with a guy. I, for one, personally, I cannot be, I will never just be, I'm not going to be one of those people, women, like I've read comments where, oh, I just have a guy for sex. No, sorry, that's not me, can't do that. That just wouldn't happen unless I was actually going to live with somebody or be married. I can't do that. But guys, it's so hard as it is any age. I think it's any age. You know, my daughter knows someone that, you know, she feels like she's never going to meet somebody. It's all ages where it's hard to find somebody decent to date. And I'm sure this is on both sides, you know, males to female, female to male. But I'm talking about us women right now in terms of, this is starting back in my 40s, and I'm now 68. It was like, what is with these guys? The ones I met online especially they were a nightmare. Oh, let me tell you about one that I met. He was good looking, and I thought, oh yeah. So, and he seemed so nice, you know, on the phone. Well, I got to the restaurant first, and I was sitting in the lobby area, which faced the doors, and you could see somebody coming in. Well, I see this guy walking in, and he looked like something right out of the 70s. I mean, like an Elton John outfit. I'm not kidding. He had on shoes with heels about that high, flared collar out to here, chains hanging down, a hat, I mean, flared pants. It was kind of an orangey, brownish color. And I thought, and I remember looking at this guy and I thought, God, who is that? Because I didn't recognize him. And he walks in and he had flowers and he goes, Lori? And I was like, yeah? Hi, I'm so-and-so. I was like, oh my God. You know, like everybody was just looking at him. I could not believe what I was looking at. Well, I decided I can't just walk out because of the way he's dressed. We'll go to dinner. Well, we go in, sit down to order. And I just ordered a little, it was a nice restaurant and they had a really nice kind of like artisan type of pizza for single. And I ordered that, he ordered his, the food comes to the table. I go to reach for a piece of pizza and guess what he does? He slapped his hand like that, literally, right on my wrist, on this wrist, yanked my arm back and he goes, you're not going to say grace before you eat? And he's hanging on to my hand as tight as could be, and I was like, oh my God. And I looked at him, I said, yeah, sure. And so he bows his head down, and he's praying out loud for everybody to hear, and I thought, oh no. And he wouldn't let go till I started yanking, and he finally let go, and I thought, oh my God, how do I get out of this? All I was thinking is, how do I get out of this? And when he was done praying, then he gave me permission to start eating. So I thought, I'm out of here. How do I do this? Well, by some chance, a waiter saw what was going on. I'll never forget that guy. And he walked over and he goes, ma'am, you've got a phone call. And in my head, I'm thinking, what? You know, who would know to call me, except for my, you know, kids, who would know to call me here and why? And he goes, if you could come take the call. And so I looked at my date and I said, oh, okay. So I grabbed my purse, I walked with the waiter to the back and he goes, I saw what happened. Do you want to get out the back way? I'll keep him busy so he doesn't see your car and you just go. And I was like, okay, thank you. So I got in my car, I left. Well, when I got home, my son said, you got to hear the messages this guy left. Oh my God, he was telling me I was going to hell. I was possessed by Satan. He left messages saying, you're going to pay a price, you're going to suffer, God's going to punish you, message after message after message. It was terrifying. And I thought, oh, thank goodness he does not know where I live. He left all these messages telling me how I was a sinner. It was just unbelievable. So guys, I don't know what your experiences are with dating after 60, but for me, I want to, but I don't want to, because it does scare me. There are so many crazy things happening in this world now. I mean, crazy things. Not just somebody not liking each other and breaking up. I mean, we're talking some crazy stuff. You know, guys putting stuff in women's drinks to take them home and do whatever. It scares me. And I would love to. I would love to meet somebody that's normal to date, but it seems like there's not much out there in terms of normalcy, guys. I mean, seriously, I'm like, are there any normal guys out there anymore? And I'm sure guys probably think the same about women, but like I said, this is about me and guys. And it's really kind of sad because the online dating has taken away the personal part of truly getting to know somebody. It's more of a fishing game, you know. Oh, I'll try that one. I'll try that one. And so that's something I'll never do. But I don't know, guys. Tell me about it. Tell me what experiences you've had over 60 in dating. Maybe even, you know, not just over 60, but any age, if you've had really bad online dating experiences or just dating experiences, period. Because it seems impossible to find somebody just normal, somebody to just hang out with. And I don't want to go through that whole dating process thing anymore at my age. I want to meet somebody the way Paula Deen met her husband Michael now. In case you guys don't know, her dogs got out of her yard, ran to the neighbor's yard, and it happened to be Michael out there. And the dogs were pooping in front of him, and she was apologizing, I'm so sorry. Got her dogs, went home. 2 weeks later, her dogs did the same thing. Paula's dogs ran over. Well, there was that guy again there hanging out on the fence, you know. And after that, they started dating. I guess just it was a date. They were dating, but she met him just like that. Didn't have to go out looking or anything. She met him by her dogs running to this guy. And the rest is history. They got married. They've been together for a long time. That's what I want. I don't want to go through that whole dating, you know, having to go meet this guy and meet that guy and meet. I don't want that, guys. Not at my age. I don't want it. I want it to be like that, where the right person just happens to come into my life. And she was a mess, she said. She had been cooking and everything. He didn't care. But they've been together and they're happy. That's what I'm looking for. I want somebody that I can just, they come into my life in the right way. Because it's scary to me, guys. I don't know. I don't know, maybe I don't think I'm the only one that feels that way. I don't think I'm just paranoid. It's scary when you see how many things are happening to women that go on dates, and it happens a lot. It's not just an occasional thing. There's so many stories of these terrible things that occur, and the things that I experienced, it was scary, especially, you know, being slapped like that on my hands because I didn't say grace. Talking about going to the mountains at midnight, no, on the first date. And then the other ones that I did, they were so boring. Oh Lord, they were so boring. I mean, I was like, God, I remember sitting there on one of them thinking, this is the first and last date, let this end. And I didn't want to be rude just because they were boring, but you know. And then real quick, there was another one. We got to the restaurant. My time's running out here. We got to the restaurant. We sat down, and he goes, just so you know, I don't pay for dinner for the first date, so if that's what you're expecting, you can get up and walk out. That's what he said on our first moment of talking. So guys, I left. I just got up and walked out. I was like, screw this. But anyway, guys, my time's running out here. Let me know how it's been for you with dating, especially over 60. Let me know what it's been like for you, because for me it was a nightmare. Don't know if I'll ever end up doing it again, unless it's by chance the right meeting, like with Paula Deen and her husband, because it scares me. Anyway, guys, I gotta get going. Hope you're having a great day, and like I said, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. So you guys take care, and let me know what you've been through. Let me know your experiences. Talk to you later, and have a good one. Bye-bye.